We are the Moonanites, and our culture is advanced beyond all that you can possibly comprehend with 100% of your brain.
Oh, is that so? And what's so advanced about it?
Well, for one thing, the moon has 1/3 less gravity than your Earth. I don't know if you can understand that, but our vertical leap is beyond all measurement.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to Colin and Greg Live right here on twitch.tv/kindafunny. Greg, I was never gone, but you were gone.
I was gone.
You just leave whenever you want. You're just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Somebody's got to get out there and pound the pavement for this and go meet the people, shake the hands, kiss the babies.
Why are you pounding pavement?
Because that's what you do with your feet. You go pop, pop, poppity, pop, pop.
Oh, okay.
Went to Canada, Colin.
Yeah. Vancouver, British Columbia.
Had a great time up there. Amazing people. A lot of Kinda Funny fans came out. Everybody asked about you. Let me tell you, I went up there for this charity competition, Game & Watch Live. We went up there to play Mario Kart, raised thousands of dollars for the British Columbia Children's
Thousands of dollars.
They're going to take those
thousands of Canadian dollars.
Right, which I don't even understand how that really goes back. They're going to take that money then, right, and then they are going to go to the children's hospitals and give them PS4s and Wii U's and Xbox Ones and have all the cool stuff they want to be there ready to go.
That's fantastic.
It was a fantastic time. How often do you go to Canada?
Not too often. I used to more when I was younger.
Oh, doctor, would you love Canada?
I do love Canada.
But you haven't gone there in a long time because you suck.
We just went to Toronto in December.
Well, that didn't count. We slept for 2 hours in the hotel, then we went to Frank's house and we came back to the same
That's true.
airport.
That's a good point.
Here's the thing, though. We're at this thing, charity watch competition. Again, thank you to the hundreds of people who came out. 80% of them there were Kinda Funny fans. They all knew who we were. They were excited, asking about you. Next time, I've been told they will bring Colin for sure. Everything will be amazing. However, I'm there. We're doing this Mario Kart 64 tournament. The one giant big screen, Mario Kart. The other TVs surrounding the bar, every one of them hockey.
Yeah, of course.
Every one of them hockey. And I was like, this is Colin's territory. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now you're going to have to stick with me.
Okay.
And first off, for the kids at home, you and I, we banter a lot. We have a lot of fun. Am I a trustworthy person? I need you to be real for a second. Am I trustworthy?
You're one of the great trustworthy people I've ever met. You're not a liar. No.
I have something to tell you, the audience, mainly you, Colin Moriarty, that will change how you perceive everything.
Like
all right?
Salacious Crumb.
Exactly, just like Salacious Crumb. I'm walking around Vancouver yesterday. I went to Tim Hortons. I got a coffee, a couple of donuts.
Nice. So you were doing the Canadian thing.
Oh yeah, hit up a comic shop. I wanted to support people there. I'm walking down the road, doing this, doing the walk, right? And I come past this little nook where there's a homeless gentleman. He looks to be homeless. He's sitting there. He looks a little bit our age, right there. Sitting there. He's got a dog in his lap. He's got his blankets, all his stuff over. I shit you not. Sitting there playing the PlayStation Vita. Not a lie. I literally stopped in my tracks and I was like, do I take a photo of this man? And I'm like, no, because then I want to take the photo, but if I'm to tweet this photo, it'll look bad. People think I'm making fun of him. I'm not making fun of him. If it was a regular human being playing Vita in the street, I would have taken a photo of him. You know what I mean? Right. And I was like, do I ask this man if I can take a photo? And I'm like, that's a convoluted story to explain that I'm known for PlayStation and PlayStation Vita, so if I'd like to take this photo, because then even then it's going to be like, well, why is it interesting that I'm taking it? And do I talk to him? He didn't look like a friendly homeless guy. I kept walking, but I knew you'd endorse me as being a trustworthy individual.
No, I believe it. I mean, because we live in San Francisco, where a lot of the homeless people. What?
Do you want me to go to the PO box?
Yes.
Do you have your keys?
Yeah, they're over there somewhere. I don't know.
A lot of the homeless people in San Francisco have cell phones, like iPhones, and sometimes you see a laptop or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. So maybe that's the thing in Vancouver, British Columbia, is that the homeless people have it. There's a big homeless population that plays Vitas.
Right. Yeah, it was amazing. It blew my mind. It changed my perception of everything.
Greg, it's funny that you bring up PlayStation Vita because today is PlayStation Vita's birthday.
Is it?
And I wanted to, at least in the West, of course, in the West.
The Japan got it earlier. That's why it's a bigger hit over there.
And Andrew Kelly, our friend Andrew Kelly, over at PlayStation, wrote a piece on the PlayStation blog. It says, hard to believe how fast time flies, but PS Vita just hit its 3rd birthday. From the launch of our slimmer model, if I remember correctly, it was February 20th, 2012? Something like that.
Sure.
So it was recently.
Yeah.
And I think you could get it like a week early if you did something. We, of course, imported them. So our anniversary technically was in December. But basically, they're doing some sales for PS Vita's birthday, including Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified, which I know people are just dying to play.
Thank you, SJ Conception, for the sub.
So if you go down, scroll down, there's just a list of games
there you
here, and these are the plus prices for these games. So pretty steep, 50%, 60%, 70% off, depending on the game you look at here. Lots of RPGs, so all the Atelier games. You have, where is it? It's here. I just saw Hyperdimension. But some really good games. This game, Home, a Unique Horror Adventure, really enjoyed that game.
Is that the pixel art one?
Yeah,
I started it.
Played that one on the way to Kentucky.
Kind of like a text adventure-y thing, right?
Yeah,
Where
it's
it's
real
like
quick.
there's a monster in the hallway, what do you do?
It's real quick. Castlevania The Dracula X Chronicles is technically not a Vita game. It is a PSP game, but if you buy it, it's really good, and Symphony of the Night is built into it.
Our game of the month here on Kind of Funny Games.
Muramasa Rebirth is really good. Let's see what else they have here. They have some older ones. Order I know that Clements wasn't fond of that when he was at
Got that Limbo
IGN.
up there.
This Ring Run Circus, I played that a lot.
Yeah.
At PSX and when we were going to Toronto and stuff like that. It's just a silly little kind of phone game that they ported over. But
Yeah, well, a lot of the games they ported over here. I finally sat down to play that Jungle Run or Jungle Rhythm or wherever the hell it was. You know, the monkey one we made fun of on Beyond. Oof, lasted about 2 minutes in that where I was like, nope, this is not what I wanted.
Sword Art Online's on here, Tales of Hearts. So there's some good stuff. Zero Escape, which people really love. So I wanted to point this out for our Vita fans out there, or would-be Vita fans, would-be Vita owners. If you guys want to save some cash, now might be the time to
Pull the trigger, jump over there, into action.
Spring into action. And Greg, of course, we didn't really introduce the show.
No, we've just been running.
So some exciting things happening. First of all, Greg. This is on every weekday. The show, Colin and Greg Live.
Yeah.
So if you want to tune in at 11 a.m. Pacific time here on Twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, you're more than welcome to join us.
Right.
We do appreciate it, and we often stream in the afternoon too. And we'll be better about that. Now, I want to make a quick announcement, Greg.
Yeah.
That we've hired our very first non-founding employee.
We've moved to 5 people now
Yep,
instead
we
of
have
just
5
4.
people.
Now this is before you even announce it. This is what you just said. You hope we'll be able to stream more. This is why. Yes, last week you were making a lot of references to some of the pressure is going to be alleviated. This is why. You know what I mean? Instead of editing all night long now, I can just answer emails all night long. Be good at that again. Plan the GDC stuff we have planned next week. Do all that kind of stuff. Plan PAX. There's a bunch of stuff now, and then take that extra time, make more content for these folks. Stream more here.
And the person that we hired is Kevin.
Kevin. You know, Game Over Greg show fans know him well. Kevin, he sits behind the camera. He's not allowed to come on camera. He says he doesn't want to, but I'm just saying he's not allowed to. We're never allowing Kevin to come on. Kevin's over there. He's going to be editing the shows. He'll be doing all the stuff. More content for you. Colin and I can get closer to being what we're good at, is just hosting and talking about games, rather than trying to do all the technical stuff we suck at.
The waters. Someone tweets.
And the waters are receding. I'm back, Colin.
Yeah.
Colin and Greg Live.
And Deep Impact was on a couple weeks ago, and I was watching it, and I'm like, man, Greg's impression is just not even close.
What are you talking about?
Not even close.
He gets up. He's got the destroyed capital behind him.
Even close.
And the waters are receding.
Shadi asked, did Kevin quit IGN? He did. He came, and now he's ours. So we're so happy to have him here. He's really... Kevin's got great work ethic, super smart dude, really helpful, and we need it. We need his help desperately.
Yeah, we definitely need help.
And the beautiful thing is that your guys' support, many of your guys' support here on Twitch and on Patreon and watching us on YouTube allowed us to scrounge together the money in order to pay him.
Yep, and that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be, if it wasn't for you guys, then there would be no Kevin. There'd be no us, obviously, right? That's what I was talking about with the Patreon money and all this stuff. It gave us the capital to get out and go do something.
Brandon H says Kevin, the guy who licks his girlfriend's tongue. And that's
one. Right. Kevin, you might know, is the man that Felicia Day called disgusting.
Put your shoes on. Just subscribe. Thank you. Put your shoes on.
Thank you very much.
Kevin's great. He's one of us now.
Yep.
Our first non-founding member reminds me of Pirates of Silicon Valley, where Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak are arguing over who's employee number 1 and who's employee number 2, and Steve Jobs is like, I'll be employee number 0. And so I guess that makes Kevin employee number 5.
Yeah.
I'm of course employee number 1. You're employee number 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Portillo's employee number 3.
My YouTube channel. I told you what we're gonna do. Like you said, there's a lot to unpack here today. Before we even get into the news of the day, you talked about Kevin. Mm-hmm. Talked about the homeless Vita guy. Mm-hmm. Portillo was here for a second. He's back from his pet daycare. Then the other big thing is that one of our mods, you should know her well, Cher underscore lol. Cher. Her name's Cher, everybody.
What the heck?
Again, people make dumb names, and so I can't be held responsible for them.
By the way, you point out something to me really interesting, just as an aside. Yeah. And I never would have noticed this.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not that smart. People think I'm a lot smarter than I actually am.
You're really smart.
I never noticed in the...
There she is, Cher.
I never noticed in the usernames
that
you can't have any capital letters except for in the
so
beginning.
Annoying,
I never noticed
So
that.
then you get there and you have to, you all of a sudden
Something
have
wrong
to, you have
with
to
me.
click it in your head and try to read it. You have to read it. Cher says it's not a dumb name. Cher _ lol. She's kind of dumb. Anyways, Cher, one of our mods, a fantastic human being, is sending along her PAX East passes. We have 3 days of PAX East passes here. As you know, here on the show, we do Friday giveaways, where every day of the week, we put something new in the box and then give it away on Friday. Today, we are suspending the giveaway. This is the only giveaway, and we're doing it today. Tomorrow, I'll put 2 prizes into the box, maybe 1 giant one for the week, then you'll get to go. So in the chat, you need to let me know and let the mods have a look there. Share, actually, why doesn't Share you piece together who can go, who you trust, do these things. Then you can text me a winner when we've gone through. If you're really going to be in Boston on Saturday and Sunday of the first weekend of March, I forget the dates, what are they? Doesn't matter. If you're going to be in Boston for
the
PAX,
7th, the 6th, 7th, 8th?
if you're around there and you need some passes and you want to be a part of it, let us know in the chat. Say you'll be there. Cheryl will compile a list. She'll figure out somebody who's good, pick from the list, go from there. All these amazing things randomly. She'll text me. Everything will go great.
We'll be there.
Exactly. Now, by getting these passes, there's a bunch of things you need to know. Mainly, actually, there's just one thing you need to know. You got to hang out with us. You got to come be a part of our shit. On Sunday, of course, is the big Game Over Greggy Kind of Funny panel. 1 p.m. Sunday. I believe Dragonfly Theater, but it's no big deal. You'll find it. It's out there. It's not going to be hard to see us. We'll be talking about it a lot. So that's the big one. If you get these passes, you have to be able to come Sunday. Period. End of story. That's it. That's the one thing.
You can't enforce. That's a completely unenforceable thing.
Everything's unenforceable.
Yeah.
We could literally, somebody could win these and then send us a video of them melting them.
Yep.
And there's nothing we can do about it.
Nope.
But I'm
Let me
also
see these.
I'm trying to hide the numbers. I don't know if those matter.
They probably do.
Yeah, okay. So on top of that, I'm hosting panels on Friday and on panels on Friday. Come to those. Saturday, I'm hosting a party I don't think I can tell you about yet because it isn't announced. And then Sunday, yeah, our panel, come hang out. We'll all be there. We're all going to be running around PAX like a bunch of idiots having fun. Let them know in the comments if you there, and then Cheryl pick somebody.
You'll probably find me in Northeastern most of the time.
Looking for that Burger King?
It's gone.
Yeah.
What happened to the Burger King?
Nobody knows. I love that. And I love that it's just a joke for you and I. Really. Nobody else gets that.
All right.
Now, I have one more thing before you get into the news. You know, I know you don't like getting distracted. And this happened afterwards. Should we talk about it now?
Sure.
All right. So after Colin and Alexa Live went off the air on Friday, those Twitch folks decided they were going to be real crazy mother effers and announced this year TwitchCon, September 26th or 25th and 26th, right here in San Francisco. It's a save the date. I want to let you know that yes, Kind of Funny will 1000% be there. We will be doing things. We will be hanging out, meet and greets, I'm sure. I don't know how the panels are breaking down, what they're doing. I'm sure we'll do that as well, even if we're not there, maybe off-site somewhere, doing different things. I just wanted you to know, if you're coming in for TwitchCon, we will be there. We will be hanging out. But first, PAX East. Let's get that out of the way. Let's make sure our panel is well attended on Sunday.
Yeah, do we have anything planned for this? I mean, do we know?
It just broke Friday.
I know, so I didn't know if you had been talking.
I'm talking to some folks. I'm saying we're going to be there. Something's going to be happening. And like I said, even if it isn't, then we'll just do something off-site and everybody have fun. But we will be there. Because, again, it's just here. We can just say meet us in the park, like when we gave away the thing. We do a Game Over Greggy show in the park.
Find us in San Francisco. Not that big. It's only 7 miles. What 7 miles? You can come find us. It's not a very vertical city.
Oh, there you go. Cher's put out a tweet here. That's how you got to respond then. She'll pick our winners from that.
All right.
Now you get to the real news, Colin. I thank you. I'm happy to be back. I want to thank Alexa, of course, for stepping in. She was a fantastic guest host.
Oh, she was great. And thank you guys so much for tuning in that day and tweeting her a lot of nice things. She'll be back. I'll be gone for 2 weeks, so I'm sure that in April, so I'm sure that she will be back at least one of those days to come hang out.
The only part that killed me was when you're talking about Unite the Seven, and everybody's like, Justice League, and you're like, he's part of some group. I was like, oh my God, no.
I really don't care.
I know you
so
don't.
It's just I felt like I had to talk about it. You know what I mean? Because I know people do
you had to put it out there. Yeah, it's what you had to do. I understand.
All right. I want to start where it's most obvious to start, Greg, and that's with Oscars.
Oh yeah.
Hollywood Reporter has compiled a list of Oscar winners for everyone that missed it, including me yesterday. The Oscars were last night. People got awards.
And goddamn it, people want to tweet about this crap.
I know. I just stayed up. I was just staying up Twitter. I was playing Whoa Dave on Vita.
Oh yeah, how's that?
I love that game.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's very simple. And watching The Good Wife, which I'll say one more time about The Good Wife.
Lay it on me.
One of the great shows I've ever seen.
Here's my question about The Good Wife. How many episodes and seasons are there? You're watching it literally nonstop. It's all I hear you talk about.
It's 6. They're on the 6th season now, but each season's 24 episodes. And and I'm on the 5th season, like somewhere towards the end.
You're about to run out.
And then I'll buy the next season, I guess,
Sure.
on Amazon. But it's just, I don't know. It's just extraordinary. The show is extraordinary. How amazing it is.
Yeah.
And how well written
Is that
it is. and how
Julianne
clever it is.
Margulies?
Yeah.
Those ER chops.
Yep, exactly. And what I really love about it is, I just highly recommend the show. I wish that it was named something more interesting. What's really cool about it is that it fuses, and I've said this before, serial with procedural, really well. So there is the overarching, storylines that are really important. The other cool thing is that they have an ensemble cast that they just keep using. There'll be a judge in a case in this first season, and then he'll be in the second season, then you see him in the fourth season.
I like that.
There's almost never new characters.
Nice.
Which is so cool.
Continuity.
Yeah, there's the same group of lawyers. Michael J. Fox is one of the lawyers.
Really?
That's in it a few
Oh
times
wait,
a
I think
year.
I remember hearing about this. And he uses his Parkinson's as a crutch, right,
Yeah.
to get sympathy.
Yeah.
And
That's
cool.
Really, really pretty extraordinary
The
show.
Good Wife cinematic universe.
It's really, I'm so shocked about how much I love that show. I don't know.
So it's just. Is it the law drama part of it that stands out to you, or is it something else?
No, it's a lot of things. I think it's interesting characters. Obviously, the law stuff's interesting too, but there's a political dynamic to it because she's the good wife in the meaning that she her husband in the very beginning of the show. It starts he's had affairs on her with all of these different prostitutes and stuff like that. That's how the show begins. So she goes back into her law practice and leaves her husband.
Gotcha.
And that's it's I don't know. It's really, really good. It's free on Amazon. The first 5 seasons. You should check it out.
Netflix too, right? Or is it just Amazon?
I think it's just Amazon.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's on Netflix.
Sorry, my bad.
All right, Oscar winners.
Oscars.
So it's too bad that Nick's gone. Nick, are you here?
No, they went to the post office. More importantly, Starbucks, of course.
Because he'd be able to speak about this more
But we don't really
accurately
want to.
than I was. But anyway,
all we want to talk about is John Travolta touching that poor lady's face. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, you're gonna love it. I'll find it for you. You keep talking.
So I guess the most important award, obviously, is Best Picture. The winner was Birdman, which I think some people predicted was going to happen. The other movies that were up were Whiplash, The Theory of Everything, Selma, The Imitation Game, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Boyhood, and American Sniper. So congratulations to Birdman for winning that. And then Best Director also, Alejandro G. Inarritu, the director of Birdman, so I guess that makes sense. Best Actor, Eddie Redmayne, The Theory of Everything. Best Actress, Julianne Moore, Still Alice.
Everyone talks about that movie. Get it on demand if it's not already.
Best Supporting Actor, J.K. Simmons, Whiplash.
Love J.K.
Best Supporting Actress, Patricia Arquette, Boyhood. Now, I was curious about, I was thinking about this not too long ago, Greg, and I'm curious about how you feel about this.
Sure.
Because I saw someone write about it somewhere. By the way, Kyle PV says, call.
Everyone loves that Birdman crap.
I was thinking about this. Someone wrote about it, so it's definitely not an original idea by any stretch of the imagination. But
there are no more original ideas.
why do we have Best Actor and Best Actress?
Right.
Shouldn't it just be the best performance? So if it is 5 women or it is 5 men or it's a group an amalgamation of the two, it just seems a little extraneous.
I think it's a carryover from the old. Because correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I'm pretty sure actresses just want to be referred to as actors now, right? Everyone's just an actor. There is no actor/actress when you talk about it, right? But the problem would be that the show would be shorter, less people would get nods. I think that's really what it comes down to nowadays. I don't know though. Who the heck?
I think so too, because it's not like me trying to be progressive in any sense of the word. It really is.
You're
just
the least progressive guy.
It's just, to me, it's just it seems like, well, who's the best performer?
Yeah, more awards equal more fun. 4 is better than 2.
It's just to me, it's just who's the best performer, and so I wish that, and who's the best supporting performer or something like that.
I hear you.
I don't know. It's just but I understand people like to give away their stuff, but it seems arbitrary to me.
Yeah.
Because it would be much more interesting to have who would between Eddie Redmayne and Julianne Moore, who would have won. That's something that's way more interesting to me than
Right.
than having these 2 arbitrary groups of people.
I hear you.
So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Original screenplay went to the guys who wrote Birdman, not surprisingly. Graham Moore won Best Adapted Screenplay for The Imitation Game. I'm not seeing it. Big Hero 6 won Best Animated Feature Film. And I know a lot of people were upset, I think, about the Lego Movie not even being nominated, which is surprising to me. I don't know why that was.
Chris Pratt. Everybody hates Chris Pratt.
Oh, okay. Best Cinematography, Birdman. So it seems like Birdman kind of cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah, Birdman, everybody loved it. I can't wait to see it.
So anyway, congratulations to all the winners and all those
here's
nominated.
the John Travolta thing I was talking about.
Okay, hit me.
He grabs this lady's face and does this, and she's everyone's like, this is what it looks like when someone silently screams. Because she's trying so bad to be like, I'm on camera in front of all these people, and John Travolta won't stop touching my face.
I know John Travolta being a weirdo.
There was all these gifs that came out of like Face Off 2. But like, yeah, see, as soon as he watch when it restarts, because he touches her and then she turns away and then watch.
Taps his.
He's like, oh, that's stop touching. Okay, oh yeah, this is really
yeah,
weird. Don't
weird,
do this to me,
weird,
please
weird.
stop, John Travolta. Poor John Travolta.
Poor John Travolta. I don't know if I've ever heard that.
Last year he butchers a name.
Oh, that's right. Who did he?
That woman.
Oh.
And I don't even know how to say it in really. Indies,
Wow, and then he
Delis.
just doubled down.
Exactly.
He just fucking doubled down.
They're making a joke about it, and he still gets fucked over. Somehow John Travolta still fucks it up to be the laughingstock the next day after the Oscars.
It's brilliant.
When is he gonna stop trying? When's he gonna be like, come out next year and just be like, fuck it, I don't care, can't make any of you happy, and he's gonna fly away. Thank you, Michael M. 2400 for subscribing.
It's brilliant. That's brilliant stuff.
I'm happy to be home. I missed you.
I missed you too,
Missed
buddy.
this show. Missed you guys. Except for the ones of the.
I've not missed an episode yet of this show.
Yeah?
Which is interesting. Because usually
Which is
I
interesting.
usually used to have to travel way more than you, and so I would always miss Beyond, and you would always be there.
That's why your name's first in the title. We knew coming in. You have to be the anchor to this. You're the constant.
Where do I want to go from here?
I don't know.
Actually, let's go to Kotaku. There was just this funny story that Chris Person wrote over there about. It's called "Guy Hitches Ride on Motorcycle Refuses to Get Off."
That's awesome.
And in Sleeping Dogs, someone, if you scroll down the actual videos there, someone was able to glitch the game. This is just comical to me. You could fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
He goes into a garage, finds a guy on a motorcycle, and then just drives around so dumb.
It's so dumb.
It's so. I love this game.
I've seen dogs, yeah.
But I thought people would get a kick out of this. Oh my god.
So okay.
He won't stop running.
So the NPC jumped on there somehow.
Yeah, like somehow, if you scroll back to the beginning, maybe like 20 or 30 seconds, you'll see, yeah, like.
He just walked over and it was already happening.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think-
Okay.
And he was able to like keep him on the bike.
Okay. Here you go.
Yeah, I guess he fights him and then
Scares him.
Yeah, there we go. Not as hard as not too hard.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it was hard of a glitch to make.
It's brilliant.
Thank God
Absolutely
for being
brilliant.
able to capture everything now.
So I thought that was funny. I thought that would make people laugh. There was another story at Kotaku by Jason Schreier that I thought was kind of interesting too, considering we always love talking about broken games. He just reminds everyone that it's been 100+ days now that the Halo Master Chief Collection has been broken.
It has been fixed. This is like Tetris.
And he says, it's been 4 months since Halo the Master Chief Collection came out for Xbox One, and unbelievably, the game is still broken. The matchmaking and lobby systems somehow still don't work. For a complete startling look at just how bad things have been, check out this full timeline of problems, patches, and game-breaking bugs over the last 100+ days since the Master Chief Collection launched. It's the type of shaming that will hopefully make publishers think twice before selling a game this busted again. Fun fact, this is my favorite part.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the folks at Developer 343 Games created an achievement called Stick With It for players who stuck with the game, an achievement that's bugged and currently won't unlock.
Oh no.
So, just wanted to throw that out there too, because there's another story, Greg,
Jeez
that
Louise.
is
More broken
that
games?
is associated with it. Well, this one has to do with Drive Club, and it was written over at Metro, and it's PS4 boss Jim Ryan, 2015 interview, says we've learned an awful lot from the Drive Club experience. Now, this interview is making the rounds for one very specific reason.
Okay, lay it on me.
And this is fucking unbelievable. All right. In the comments, you haven't seen this?
I don't know what you're talking about. I do not know what's going to happen.
In the comments, I'm just going to read you what it says. All
Thank
right?
you. Yeah, okay.
The questioner says, I understand that you did a lot better than someone addressing the situation, but there was still 3 months. And is there still going to be a free PlayStation Plus version?
Sure, the one you promised.
That's still being looked at,
Ooh.
he says. And the questioner says, you can't guarantee that it will ever happen. And Jim Ryan says, I can't say anything at this stage.
Wow.
So not only now, like, the Drive Club situation somehow becomes more comical as time actually goes on.
Yeah.
Because it was so funny that you would, if you didn't laugh, you'd cry kind of situation with Drive Club. And now it's just awesome.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
now
yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is going on with this game? You know?
Yep,
So, like, now the PlayStation Plus version that originally broke the game, apparently, that, like, the functionality of making the game early and available day and date with everyone because of the server load, I guess, would actually destroy the game. Now they're saying, well, that version just might not happen at all.
That's upsetting.
And it's buried. They buried the lead in this story because that's a pretty big.
But it's getting broken out everywhere
Yeah.
else.
So, Drive Club.
Doggies. Drive Club.
And I get tweets every once in a while.
Salesman in the chat. Drive Club is awesome. Too good to give away.
That's the thing is I've gotten a lot, not a lot, certainly not a lot, but I've gotten tweets from people that are upset that we still rail on Drive Club.
Yeah.
Saying that it works, it's worked fine for a long time. So with that, I'm like, I totally believe it, but this game is really indicative of, just like Jason was saying with Halo, of
next-gen problems.
Of next-gen problems, but just publishers wantonly releasing games that do not work. And so I wanted to throw that out there. And for all the tweets I've gotten where people are like, the game works fine, I've gotten many more that'd be like, the game was fucked up and continues to be fucked up for some people. Maybe not as bad as Halo at this point, but it's
sure.
It's a problem. So, so that PlayStation Plus version of Drive Club you were excited about, I wouldn't maybe hold your breath for that one.
We got a new tip from Viva La Cavolution. No message included, though.
We do appreciate that.
Thank you.
Where do I go from here? I don't know if you were a Legacy of Kain fan, but this was interesting. This is from NeoGaf. Mama Robotnik.
Yeah.
Over there at
Love it.
Over there found this information. I'm not sure who the original source of it is, for a canceled Legacy of Kain game called Dead Sun, with video and screenshots. And so what it says, disclaimer, for a quick recap, please see my previous research threads on the game here and here. The discoveries in this thread are results of years of research and connecting to sources. For any external websites, absolutely feel free to report it, blah, blah, blah. They just want to link back to this thread.
Sure.
The
awesome.
video link, so there's full videos and there's an abridged video too.
I hit the full video. Do you want me to go to the other one? I'm already here.
Yeah, whatever. That's fine.
Skip it around. Oh, are you the Legacy of Kain? Is there a breast hanging out? Come on now.
Basically, according to this game was pretty far along.
Yeah.
Square, it looked like they were working on it. And this dump of information here just kind of gives people some look into what the game looked like, both in terms of pre-rendered cutscenes, I guess, and gameplay. This looks like running on Xbox 360 according to the button mapping in the top and the look of the game. And at the thread, there's some art and some more information about it. I guess some decks that they made for the game. But I just wanted to throw this out there because I know there's people are really passionate about this series, and we haven't seen it in over a decade now, I think. So here's a fresh look. And again, this is what we're talking about with Unseen 64 and other websites that kind of break this digital kind of archaeology, like this stuff that's been canceled, this vaporware, these canceled games, man. They're doing great work because even though this stuff's never going to come out, and I have no idea why this didn't come out. I mean, it looks like it's pretty far along.
Yeah. If anything, this is just a really well done vertical slice.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
But I mean, even beyond that, it looks I mean, they're showing all sorts of stuff in here.
Yeah, I mean, it looks a little broken.
Well,
here.
sure, yeah.
So that's not too surprising, but I just wanted to show this off because I thought this was kind of
No, that's what we talk about. You talk about it with the Unseen 64 thing, and the fact that there's so many developers work on projects, go show somebody this is what we want to do with it, and then it never happens. You know what I mean? I would love, especially as a DC Comics fan, to see all the DC Comics games that have never happened that somebody made. You know what I mean? You know that it happened. You know that there was different prototypes for Green Lantern. I'm sure there's been Flash things. Are there Arrow games out? Stupid stuff like that. I'd love to see more of.
This is cool as hell because it looks like totally open world, quest based.
Yeah.
The physics of changing your surroundings.
You have a roof. You don't have a roof, depending on which one you are here, or what version of this guy you are.
Pretty cool. So I just wanted to give everyone a little glimpse of that.
Good job, Mama Robotnik. Is that right?
Mama Robotnik.
Thank you, Mama Robotnik.
Through.
Good old Neo guy.
Greg, just a few more pieces of news.
Okay. I can talk more about the homeless guy with DeVita.
No, I think we're good on that. I think we're okay with that right now.
Did you see Axiom Verge?
Yep, that's what I was going to get to. Yeah. Let's talk about Axiom Verge.
All right.
Tom Happ, the only man making Axiom Verge, the one-man game, announced today that on March 31st on PlayStation 4, Axiom Verge will launch. And I'm not so sure. I want to look here so I can... that was not what I meant to do. I want to see if the Vita version is also coming out that day, because it would be disappointing if it wasn't. But for people that don't know, Axiom Verge is basically Metroid for PlayStation 4 and for Vita, and it will also be on PC. Thomas Happ is the guy who's making it. He's making it by himself, and it's being funded by Sony's Pub Fund. We saw it for the first time last year at E3, and I was actually floored by it. I actually gave it one of my Game of the Show awards, and nice. We got a build back at IGN. I did a pretty thorough video and written preview. And then we have a build of the game now. And we streamed it earlier in January. And I'll talk to Tom today and try to get another build of the game, maybe a final build. And we can start streaming the game and showing it to you guys. But this game, I think, is going to be fucking awesome. I'm really, really, really excited about this game. And so for people that don't know, it's all weapon based and stuff like that to like kind of. It's a non-linear map, just like Metroid or Super Metroid, and it's about backtracking and kind of accessing areas, or like Symphony of the Night, where you weren't able to get before because you didn't have the proper weapons or whatever. The one cool thing is that you can also glitch the game. There are glitches in the game that are intentionally put there, and you use the glitches to your advantage. The game's art is beautiful. I think the style is awesome. I'm super stoked about this game. Definitely one of the great games I think of this year. I'm super excited about it. So here's the bad news. He says, although the PS4 version is ready, I'm still working on the Vita version, as there are some tools that are still under development that I'm waiting on. However, when Sony asked me when I wanted to release Axiom Verge, I had a tough decision to make. Should I hold the PS4 version so I can launch it simultaneously with the Vita version, or should I just launch the PS4 version now? After hearing from so many people who are eagerly looking forward to playing it, I decided just to launch the PS4 version first. But people who are mostly interested in the Vita version should not worry. It's definitely coming, and it's definitely going to be cross-buy. So if you buy it on PS4, it'll be ready for download on your Vita as soon as it launches there. The game will cost $20, launches March 31st. Very exciting news, Greg. Very exciting news. So keep an eye on that one.
I like this quote here. It's been the greatest experience of my professional life creating this game. That's sweet.
Yeah,
see it's him complete it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine how hard it was to do everything. I mean, the graphics he did, the story he did, the animations he did, the programming he did, the design he did. Yeah. It's really pretty extraordinary. Keep it all in-house. This game's going to blow up, and he's going to be fucking filthy rich, so good for him.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this game will blow up.
You can take it to the bank. Colin Moriarty's lock of the week.
And on Financial Times, Greg, FT.com.
The Financial Times.
I saw this interesting story about, it's called Broadcasters Fear Falling Revenues as Viewers Switch to On-Demand TV. This is by Shannon Bond at FT.com. And she writes in part, basically, she has a lot of graphs and interesting kind of information here. But she said with YouTube to watch, Instagram pictures to take, and Facebook, Snapchat, and other social media platforms to explore, a generation of young Americans that used to turn to television for entertainment is finding its fix elsewhere. They are watching on-demand services such as Netflix and Hulu and the BBC iPlayer, but turning off linear TV, or tuning in at a set time on a set channel. This migration has been gradual, but is starting to show up in the quarterly results of some of the world's biggest media companies, and investors are beginning to notice. Television executives started sounding the alarm last autumn when Viacom, 21st Century Fox, Comcast, which owns NBC Universal, and Walt Disney, began reporting lower advertising revenues for some or all of their networks. Todd Younger, a senior analyst with the Bernstein Research, called the ratings decline alarming and unprecedented. The trend has continued into the most recent round of financial results, with Viacom among the worst hit. The company, controlled by 91-year-old billionaire Sumner Redstone, which is a fucking 91-year-old billionaire's name.
That is awesome.
Sumner Redstone.
I'm summoning the Redstone.
Has suffered some of the sharpest ratings declines, with viewership down 18% in the fourth quarter. 18%! According to Nielsen data, BET, which is aimed at African-American audiences, fell 22%. The children's network Nickelodeon was down 17%, and MTV declined 14%, just in the last quarter.
Yeah. Welcome to the internet.
So I thought this was an interesting story. People should go seek this story out because there are some interesting graphs and kind of some interesting information about age demographics and who's watching TV, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I saw an interesting stat, and I don't know where I saw it, where the average TV viewer now is 50.
Ooh.
That is a dying medium.
Yeah, that's bad news, Bears.
So go seek out that story if you want to learn more about that, because I thought that was.
But thanks for
really
watching Switch.
I mean, this is why we're here. You're here with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still feel like the only channels that really do a nice job of entertaining is like ESPN. You know, like
What do you mean, like constantly there's something good on?
Yeah, it's not like syndicated shit or
I see what you mean.
reruns.
It's all in-house stuff they want.
Yeah, like if you can turn on right after SportsCenter ends until SportsCenter starts again in the evening. Like there's great stuff, and I feel like they're one of the only. But they have to segue their shit to internet too more. Like I would pay $10 a month for ESPN.
Well, now somebody was asking us in the chat last week about Sling and if we were excited about Sling, and remember we were like, we don't know what that is, and then I saw an ad thing for it that it's watching live TV through the internet kind of thing. You know what I mean? As far as like getting out of cable altogether, which we always talk about wanting to do, but live sports keeping us locked in. Interesting.
Yeah, between hockey and football, it's like it'd be very difficult, but
very difficult.
Just a few more questions. I'm sorry, do you have something to say?
No, not at all.
Oh, because you were pointing.
I said very difficult. And
okay.
I just pointed.
Usually you point when you have something to say.
We got a new tip. You ready for it? This is from Pat Matrick. He says, "Hey guys, I enjoy being one of the mods. Keep up the good work."
Thank you,
Pat. Thank
Pat
you so
Matrick.
much.
Greg, over at IGN, Lucy O'Brien, our friend Lucy,
the Lion
O'Brien, wrote a story about Phil Spencer and Phantom Dust. And you were here last week when we talked about how Phantom Dust, which was announced at E3, it's a reboot of the original Xbox game Phantom Dust, which is kind of like a game no one really played, but they were rebooting it with the help of a studio, which they then took off of the game. That studio shut down.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were asking questions about what the hell's going on with Phantom Dust. And this is just basically pointing to a tweet of his. And Lucy writes, despite the closure of Phantom Dust developer Darkside Game Studio, Microsoft has reaffirmed its commitment to the reboot. Quote, you'd obviously like the first studio for a project to work out. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Still committed to PD. That's what he tweeted. So it seems obvious that they wouldn't have announced a game like this so early and then just canceled the game. It's probably going to be moved over to another studio, maybe one they own. So I know some people were confused about that. I just wanted to throw that out there because Phantom Dust looked really promising, and it looked like it was somewhat far along, and that you must have had some confidence in the studio to have announced it, but apparently something went wrong there.
Two things from the chat and community I want to talk about. Sleepy Monkey just gave us tips. Says, keep up the great work, guys. Wish I could meet you at PAX, but can't afford hotel and airfare. Hope to meet you one day. Remember, the live event for Kind of Funny is coming up in April. We'll have details soon. Now that we have Kevin, I can actually talk to people while they're at their business hours. Then over here, Desky Fam says, in all seriousness, I miss structured live TV. The freedom to watch whatever I want, whenever I want, has led to me being behind nearly all my shows. Not sticking to a structured viewing schedule has made me become lazy and complacent with missing my shows.
But that's the freedom you have. I mean, that's an interesting point, but that is the freedom you have.
Right.
You know? Like, you don't have to do that. So the system now lets you do both of those things, as opposed to the old system, in which you really didn't have the choice.
It's definitely an interesting takeaway, because I remember that when when you didn't know how to program a VCR and you're like, I have to hit this and watch this then.
Oh,
and
man,
now that's what happens every time with like Walking Dead last night or Arrow or Flash. Everybody the next day asks, oh, did you see it? I'm like, no. I watch those with dinner, like usually on the weekend when you know what I mean, like something else happens, and that's when I get to doing it. I don't have to watch it in the moment.
Right.
And I run the risk of spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
playing with fire.
And that's what I do. I mean, he makes a good point in the sense that I don't tune into live TV that I want to watch almost ever anymore. Like, I just don't care. Like, MasterChef Junior is a show.
Sports is the one.
Because sports is that really is the zeitgeist. That really is like you have to be there to watch the game and you're excited about it and you're waiting for it. I mean, that's the way I feel about football and hockey. But a good example of this is Downton Abbey. I'm crazy about that show. It's free on PBS and you watch it week by week. But my girlfriend and I haven't watched any of it yet, because I'm like, I love Downton Abbey so much that I want to buy it and pay them and be like, keep making this. So I'll pay $40 for it on Amazon, but I'm not watching it and not interested in watching it, beat for beat, because I would rather consume it as quickly as possible. We were talking about that with this Friday at 12:01 a.m. I believe we'll launch House of Cards Season 3.
Yep.
And that's another thing where people will watch that all at once, and I really do want to be disciplined and not do it, but I think that I'm not going to be able to be disciplined like that, especially after I saw the last trailer, which is awesome. All right, a few more things. Eddie over at GameSpot wrote a story called "We Launched Xbox One at the Right Time," says Microsoft exec. We had to launch head-to-head with PlayStation 4. This is according to Aaron Greenberg. Eddie's story reads, as part of the latest Inner Circle podcast, Xbox executive Aaron Greenberg fielded numerous questions about the Xbox One, one of which had to do with launch timing. For the first time in two console generations, rival Xbox and PlayStation consoles were released in the same year. But the interviewer wondered, did the Xbox One launch too early? Did it launch in November 2013 only to ensure Microsoft wouldn't give Sony's PlayStation 4 a one-year advantage on the market?
Similar to 360 PS3.
So what Greenberg said, quote, I don't think so. We had the launch head-to-head with them. We didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know what we were doing. You assume they're going to do some things. You get some things right and some wrong. But we were pretty focused. The titles we had in development, whether it was Forza 5 or Rise or any of our launch titles, we felt like they were ready. End quote. Greenberg also says that Xbox One was actually more ambitious than the PS4 through its Kinect voice and TV integration. This came at a price, as the Xbox One, which originally came bundled with Kinect, was $500 at launch, compared to $400 for the PS4, which offers an optional camera. Microsoft has since dropped the Xbox One price multiple times. The system is available today, starting at $350. Quote, we were trying to do a lot more. If you think about Kinect and voice and TV integration, we had perhaps a more ambitious vision. But with that said, no one has ever said that we shouldn't have launched when we did, that we didn't feel like that was the right time and place. We're off to a good start, but we have a lot more work to do. We never regretted or felt like we weren't ready, end quote. Props to them for sticking to their guns. They can talk about ambition all day, but the Xbox One was pretty easily outclassed by the PS4 at launch. And Xbox One has gotten better.
Yeah.
But
it got better by them not sticking to their guns.
Right.
By them saying, okay, we hear you. You don't want the game share thingamajig that was going to be the big deal at the start. You don't want the Kinect. You don't want the TV integration. You know what I mean? Like, that's the interesting thing about this, is that Sony, for the first time ever, was listening, right? and beat them to the punch as far as like they understood the climate they were about to enter into, where everyone was saying this will be the final games generation, blah, 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 blah. Sony was like, well, what if we just angle it at the gamer, and this is the gamer's machine. Take all the mistakes we made in the PS3 era and not do them here. Whereas Microsoft went the opposite, right? Of like, well, now we're going to be this box that takes over your house. We're going to be that thing that is in Batman Forever that Edward Nygma makes. And everybody's like, but then it sucks your brain, does all that
That's
stuff.
a great point, Greg.
Yeah.
PS4 Trophy says PS4 was smart by getting into bed with every indie out there. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. It was the biggest stroke of genius. There are so many more games on PS4 than there are on Xbox One. It's not even fucking close.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with
Indie Station.
like the Indie Station. It just so happens that all those games, not I don't say all, a lot of those games are way better than the AAA $60 games you're buying, and it's going to continue that way. Well, like it or not, ready or not, that's the future. Just a couple more stories, Greg. Eddie, again, over at GameSpot, wrote a story called The Unlikely Story Behind One of Gaming's Greatest Sports Titles. And this is about NHL 94.
I thought it was going to be about IDARB.
Yes, IDARB. Now, I wanted to bring this up for two reasons. NHL 94 is the most beloved hockey game of all time. Up there and beyond even Blades of Steel. And obviously NES Original Ice Hockey. I wanted to bring up for another reason is that next month when Ramon comes to... Ramon comes here and hangs out with us for a week, we are going to get our friend Kevin that we also went to Northeastern with. Also
Not the Kevin we just hired.
No, not the Kevin. Another Kevin that I went to. He might be watching right now. Sometimes he watches the show while he's at work. But we're going to get him. We're going to get Ramon, and we're going to play an NHL 94 tournament.
That's awesome.
And we'll do it as a Let's Play that we'll put up on
Are we all
on
in it?
YouTube.com. Yeah, we just have to figure out the brackets. And
All right,
stuff
cool.
like that. And I'm going to wear my Islanders jersey. Ramon wears Devils jersey. And I was wondering, Kevin's a Ranger fan. I'm like, so you're going to wear your Rangers jersey? He's like, no. I'm going to wear my Zarley Zalapski Hartford Whalers jersey.
Hartford the
And
Whale?
I'm like, really? All right. So the story by Eddie says, professional hockey game NHL 94 is considered to be one of the most iconic and influential sports games of all time. And it is. That's just me throwing it out there. So you might be surprised to learn it was developed in a barn in Maine by a man who knew nothing about hockey. Maine news publication, the Bangor Daily News, and it's Bangor, Greg.
Bangor?
Maine. A lot of people say Bangor, it's Bangor.
Bangor.
The Bangor Daily News has profiled NHL 94's lead programmer, retired game developer Mark Lesser, offering a fascinating look into his life and career. Quote, I never watched a hockey game. I didn't know anything about it, said, quoted as Lesser, an MIT graduate with a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. To get up to speed, Lesser took a trip to Electronic Arts campus in California. Other developers working on the NHL franchise, intense hockey fans, took Lesser to a professional hockey game and taught him more about the sport. Quote, I didn't know what the heck they were talking about. I just smiled a lot. End quote, Lesser recalled. Armed with his knowledge, Lesser returned to his cabin in Brooklyn, Maine, to get to work programming what would become NHL 94. It wasn't uncommon back then for a single person to program an entire game with others working on art and other elements. NHL 94 turned out to be a breakaway hit. Very good, Eddie. Introducing franchise first, such as one-timers and goalie control. A sailing slap shot could shatter the glass behind the goal, something never seen before.
Remember that? Remember the first time you saw that when you flipped out? I remember that.
Lesser, now 66, developed NHL follow-ups through 1999. His final game for EA was a motocross title released in 2000. He is now retired, living in coastal Surrey, home overlooking Union River Bay. So that's a really interesting story, a throwback to a different time, and a nice preface for our NHL 94 tournament that will happen next month.
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, that'll be a good one because we were very passionate about our sports games at Northeastern, and we played a lot of them, so it'll be a good one.
NHL 94 was one of the few games where I played it, where it was one of the few games when my parents bought me, like, just as soon as I was obsessed with it. Because I remember I went to Mike Boylan's house, we played it all day on a winter Chicago day, and then, yeah, they picked me up, and I was like, we have to get this game. Like, fine, Jesus. And we just went to the store, and they got it for me.
This comment was interesting to me.
Sure.
Where is it? Maine Lime says, from Maine, no one, and I mean no one in Maine calls it banger. I lived in Maine.
I lived in Maine, sir.
And I lived there for several years. I lived in New York, southernmost town, actually, in Maine.
Yeah.
And I was just in Bangor 2 years ago for a friend's wedding, and they absolutely do call it that. And also, I believe that's where Stephen King lives.
Okay.
But of course, the further
Should I reach out to Stephen King?
The further north you go in Maine, the crazier it gets.
Yeah.
When you get to up to there's this town called Presque Isle and a town called Caribou, and that's when you're getting real into the woods up there in Maine. But I used to call Bangor, and I was corrected too many times to not walk away with that information from people that are from there.
When I worked at the Tribune after college, there was another Mizzou grad who worked there who was from Maine. And he told the story that, like, in his first, 500-person lecture class or whatever, the professor was like, all right, who came to Mizzou from the farthest away place? And people all put their hands up and start going down. He was the last one standing. He's like, where are you from? And from the podium, he's talking up into the crowd. He's like, where are you from, young man? And he's like, I'm from Maine. And the professor came down off the podium, walked up the stairs, and shook his hand and said, welcome to America. Maine's It's not.
Yeah, I got
I was
it.
explaining to them, not you.
Okay.
I knew you got it.
Oh, I got it.
What do we got next?
Let's see here. We have one more story. Mr. Manager 0803 says, I was born in Caribou. I didn't think anyone was ever born in Caribou. So that's really interesting. Let's see.
You looking for news stories? Or are you
Yeah,
talking
I want to go into the comments, and we haven't talked to anyone in a while.
We got some tips in here. FlamingToast.com gave us $1. He said, "Can you feel that in your shorts? This is Skype." A great Greg Miller reference. Duncan No Duncan says, "Beyond. See you gents at PAX." Yes, couldn't be more excited to meet you both. Remember, Sunday, our panel, 1 p.m., Dragonfly Theater. Be there, be square. And the Peacemaker X gave us a tip and said, "Hey guys, keep up the great work. I was also wondering if you guys noticed the creeper kiss that John Travolta gave Scarlett Johansson at the Oscars last night. I heard about it and saw an image of it." Poor John Travolta. I'm sure coming into the Oscars this time, he was like, "I'm not going to screw up. I'm not." He's like in the car. What's his wife's name? Remember his wife? They're in the car. He's like, "I'm not going to screw up. I'm not going to screw this up. I'm not going to screw it up." And then he screws it up twice. And there's even an image of him looking at Bender Cumberbatch or whatever from the back. It looks all creepy.
Yeah, he
Poor
is.
John Travolta.
Yeah,
Poor John. If you're watching, we'd love to have you on Colin or Greg Live. Show you're not a creeper. I think you're a good guy.
John Travolta is the best. So we have a lot of European listeners on this show in particular because this show is on at night in,
They're dinner time.
in Western Europe. So they're getting home from work or school or whatever, and we appreciate them tuning in. Some people are asking, what is Maine?
Oh,
And
it's a state,
Maine is a state.
but it's way
It's a
all
state.
up
It's
there.
like Vermont or North Dakota, a state you don't hear very often about. Maine is a beautiful state, though. It used to be part of Massachusetts and was split off as part of a compromise, blah, blah, in the mid-19th century. Nonetheless, it's a beautiful state. You should go check it out if you're ever in the States. You can fly into Logan in Boston and drive right up and be there in about an hour and a half. Really diverse state in terms of geography, too, which is really cool. My time living in Maine, I really loved it.
Yeah.
You know, I lived in New Hampshire as well, and I lived in Massachusetts, obviously, during college, but New Hampshire and Maine, man, there's something special about those states. And a lot of people, they don't talk about them too often, so props to my people in Maine and New Hampshire.
Whoa, whoa.
Props to my people. Props to my people in Maine and New Hampshire. Really enjoyed it there. Final story comes from the New York Post. The New York Post is an interesting newspaper in New York, if you're ever from New York.
How do you feel about them? Did you see this thing with the...
It makes me laugh. New York Post makes me laugh like all the time.
Did you see the doomed thing?
I don't know if I saw that. No.
All right, you give this story and I'll find the doom thing when we talk about it.
Let's see. Jonathan M. Trugman writes,
Good name.
Apple's Project Titan could reshape the auto world.
Oh.
And it says, Detroit had a good year in 2014, selling 16.5 million autos, up 1 million from 2013. The stock of Ford and GM has revved on the good news, jumping 5.7 and 7.8% respectively in 2015. That's better than the S&P 500, which has risen 2.5%. Motors responded well, not only to low interest rate loans, but to all the technology in cars today. Everything from touchscreens and Wi-Fi hotspots to hybrid technology and backup cameras. But in just 1 week, Detroit's vibe has gone from hip to has-been.
Oh, no.
With reports last week that Apple hopes to bring a car to market in 5 years. Ooh. Every motorist who remembers the pre-iPhone era of smartphones must be feeling like their new car will go the way of BlackBerry, Nokia, and Palm Pilot. Currently, at a secret location near its Cupertino, California headquarters, Apple is said to be working on a car design codenamed Project Titan at breakneck speed. While auto companies can take as long as even 7 years to develop a car, Apple is said to be hoping to start shipping its vehicle in 5 years, as early as 2020. Elon Musk's Tesla is currently the #1 electric car maker, with vehicles ranging from $70,000 to $100,000. And Google is working on George Jetson-like driverless cars, but neither is close to cornering the market on mass affordable electric cars. My sense is this is where Apple will attack, just as it had with smartphones, laptops, and tablets. Former Ford engineer Steve Zadesky is heading up Titan. Efforts to fast-track the car project got Apple in a little jam last week when a car battery maker, A123 Systems, sued it over alleged poaching of its executives. How badly does Apple CEO Tim Cook want to get this car out of the garage? Well, Apple has been offering the best and the brightest in the car battery field $250,000 signing bonuses.
Damn.
Plus salaries 60% higher than they were currently earn. Musk told Bloomberg Business Week this week. No, so they're obviously competing for the same people.
They need a Twitch show.
Take Mark Newson, who just happens to be close friends with Apple's design guru, Johnny Ive. Newson, hired last September by Apple, is considered one of the more elegant engineers in the world. The guy has works archived at MoMA, not something you hear about a lot in Detroit. Zadesky, the boss, besides holding 90-some patents, was in sole signatory on a 2010 business contract with an organization called Liquid Metal. It is known for moldable metal, nanos phosphate metal, which can be shaped like plastic. Detroit still welds. Apple and Liquid Metal have filed 17 patents together.
Liquid Metal.
This is the big thing. Apple and Liquid Metal have filed 17 patents together, 14 in the past year.
Good for them. How do you feel about
I don't
this?
know. It's super interesting. Like, it's so funny how I'm not so sure about Apple's success. Tesla's going to be fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like Tesla is going to be huge, and they're I think Tesla bought a factory from Honda or Toyota in the Bay Area that will mass-produce their mass-produced Teslas, not the ones that are handmade. And it's funny that the rise of the automobile started in the United States. American cars for 80 years were the shit, and then they became shit, right? And the Japanese manufacturers and European manufacturers swooped in and took all your business, all their business.
Yeah.
And it's funny that an American car company, Tesla, will save the American car industry, and that the center of car industry won't be Flint or Detroit; it will be San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wish Apple the best because I think that this competition will be good for Tesla and good for other car companies.
Competition's awesome.
But it's so weird that that technology has fused so much with the automobile that the center of gravity of that industry is now in California. And Tesla, man, I mean, you just read about them all the time. They're gonna fucking kill it.
Right.
Like I'm really excited to see like what Tesla looks like in 10 years, 20 years. And just because there's so much money in San Francisco and obviously they're located up here, you see them all the time.
Yeah.
I see more and more Teslas
Everyone talks about them.
all the time.
Ryan McCaffrey won't shut up.
Yeah, Cheryl wants one. Cheryl's like dead.
Fennoy.
Cheryl's dead fucking serious.
Yeah.
About getting a Tesla.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you're a doctor, do your thing.
Yeah.
We don't have anywhere to charge it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that, but it's interesting to see.
Apple get in this would be awesome.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, and I wonder if some other
I'm sure
tech companies.
There'll be a crappy HP version, sure. Yeah. This won't run. But yeah, that's the thing about Apple, right? Is like the iWatch or whatever the hell they call it does nothing for me. But like, not even I don't own a car, don't need a car. But my next car would be I'd be looking at an electric car, right? I'd want to. I'd think about, you know what I mean? So like if they're doing the mass-produced Tesla, they're doing something cool with Apple. That'd be something I'd want to do.
And I think that what's exciting about it is regardless of the financials and the kind of the financial health of some of these companies like Tesla right now.
Yeah.
The future looks bright for them, and I think that they just have to you cannot you have to have a mass production capability to make a car that is successful.
Yeah.
And I think once they do that, I think that the tune will change. That said, I think that there are interesting cars from the traditional manufacturers that are like you see more and more Volts too, and I think that the Chevy Volt is a car that's kind of not really ever come into its own, but is a viable electric car that you can drive like 600 or 650 miles without ever putting gas in it, or putting a new tank of gas in it. I'm just excited about the future. I don't drive. I don't care about cars.
Yeah.
I just know that this is something that the United States in particular needs to get back onto the bandwagon with, and this is the way to do it. By the way, for everyone out there, there's an interesting documentary you guys should check out called "Who Killed the Electric Car."
Amazing. Really, really good.
Yeah, really, really good one. It's about the EV1, which was GM's electric car in the early '90s, and how they were like way ahead of the curve,
and they got
how
squashed.
all of these
bureaucratic bullshit.
Yeah, like all of these. Or it wasn't GM's. Was it GM's?
I don't remember who did it, but it was the auto companies that then snapped back.
Yeah, so some group made the EV1, which was an electric car, and then like all these other car companies started like sabotaging it. And I think one of the stories that I remember clearly
was General Motors.
Yeah, General Motors. So one of the things that happened was one of the companies bought the battery manufacturer and then just closed it.
Yeah.
Like to squash this entire notion of having an electric car.
The best part of the movie, aside from, and I forget what actor it is, when they go to the actor's house and take the last EV1, because they had to like take them all. You know what I mean? They couldn't let them still be on the roads. They come back and take it from him. Is when the woman who worked for them, I forget what she did for him, but she's like, they have one like in a museum or whatever, and she's like going through over there and she's talking about it. And the guy who's showing her around, who's like in charge of this like car museum or whatever, is like, yeah, it sucks the batteries, could never go that far. And she's like, she turns to the camera, she's like, do you want to have this argument on camera? Like, do you want to film this? Because I'm about to fucking destroy this guy and how far ahead we were and how, people had to get tricked out of this, that this car couldn't do what it could do.
Yeah, you guys should definitely check out the documentary because it really just shows how we're at a place now where we could have been in the 90s. And then imagine where we would have been now.
What we would have saved, how much,
But Tesla, man, I mean, when you have a person with that much money and that much willpower running your company, it seems like the success is pretty much guaranteed.
Patman516 asked a question a lot of people are probably asking themselves. How do we not drive? He's from LA.
In LA you have to drive.
Yeah, San Francisco is 7x7. It's really compacted. Granted, Muni sucks, but it gets you where you need to be. And then there's Uber, then there's all these different cab services. You get around without it. Our girlfriends have cars because they work far away. and then we can borrow those cars to go get groceries. But then I used to get my groceries delivered, so I used to do a bunch of different stuff there too.
Yeah, you love your delivery. You love getting your laundry
I do.
done.
Get
when
my
the-
lunch delivered today.
The woman comes 4:30 in the morning.
4:30 in the morning.
Dropping off your laundry. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's like, go to bed. What the hell are you doing?
It's literally 15 minutes before you come out to do your little workout. This is what I want to talk about, Colin. This is something I brought to my attention over this, right? I'm going to get some of the information wrong about this because I read it, and it's old too. It's December 2012, right? But it was this big debate over what should have happened here.
the photographer took the picture.
Right. This gentleman here was, he had an argument with his wife, left the house in a huff, went around New York, whatever, came back here, and then there was basically it sounds like a deranged man on the tracks who was harassing a bunch of people, and he tried to get him away from that, and that man threw him here in front of this. And so, yeah, he gets thrown in front of this, the train coming at him, and then while people are screaming, the photographer starts taking pictures rather than running over to grab him and try to help him up, and this man died. And so, but then the New York Post came under a bunch of fire, of course, because they published this image. How's the family supposed to feel seeing this? And then, of course, the photographer himself came under trouble too because he took the photo rather than run over there and try to do something.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know. Think about war zone photographers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying this is okay. I mean, if I was the photographer, I would have dropped my camera and tried to help this person.
Sure.
But does the wartime photographer pick up a gun or does he take the fucking picture?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's. I'm not saying this is a war zone. I'm just saying it's not quite that cut and dry when you say well, if you have a camera and you could do something to help, you should always do something to help. You know. With this said, I mean, this is I remember seeing this, and this is a frightening picture. New York Post isn't. I mean, I think people around the country and around the world know this, but I especially know this because I'm from New York. Is New York Post has a terrible reputation, and
they're sensationalists.
Yeah, that is considered along with the Daily News the tabloid of New York. And if you want a real New York paper, you read Wall Street Journal, you read the New York Times.
Yeah.
The paper of.
You want page
record.
6 girls though? New York Post.
Yeah, of course. Or if you want to read a Long Island's paper, you read Newsday.
Yeah, I'd be fascinated to go back to J school class at Mizzou and see them talk about this because that is a big part of it, right? As far as what war photography is one thing. This is another thing. How the other thing too with this photo is how fast is that train coming? How far back is what I mean? Me as a human being seeing this and from trying to imagine how close I'm shooting it.
It looks like it's pretty close. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what is the instinct of the photojournalist?
Yeah. It's to capture the scene. It's
Yeah,
to see
so
what's
I
happening.
don't know. It's such a complicated. It's such a complicated ordeal.
Yeah.
That said, I know that in that situation, it's based on I think the kind of person I am, maybe the kind of person you are.
Yeah.
Is to try to help this person, but it's happening so quickly. I mean, who knows even
What your instincts are.
This guy's camera's out because of the conflict that's happening on the platform. So his camera's already in his hands, and he's probably And then this happens, and he's
At what point does
It's a very unfortunate situation. It was a very unfortunate situation.
100% true. So that's the uplifting story of the day from 3 years ago.
Yeah, New York Post is has a decent sports section though, as my brother always likes to remind me. Greg?
Yeah.
That's it. Let's give away an item. Oh, we're giving away these today, right?
Yeah,
and then tomorrow we're giving away different prizes. What we're giving away this week, I'm very
tomorrow we're going to give away our real prize.
Very excited about that.
If you're joining us late, so every day here on Colin Ringo Live, we come at 11 a.m., we give you the news of the day, we hang out, we talk about video games, comics, TV, whatever, and then we also add a prize to the giveaway package that we give away on Friday. However, we have a big prize for Friday that we'll talk about tomorrow. Today, we're giving away these PAX East badges. So you can come Friday through Sunday to PAX East in Boston. Come watch our panel, of course, Sunday, 1 p.m., Dragonfly Theater. They're from one of our mods, share_lol. She's in the thing talking about it right now, and I believe what she's doing is she keeps putting out a Twitter link for you to go to, reply to be entered, and then I believe, I caught it once, that she's doing it tomorrow we'll announce the winner. So you have today to go through and do it if you're watching on demand even. But I told her to text me that information, and she has not done that yet. So I assume that's what's happening. Tomorrow we can announce our PAX winner.
Okay.
So let me get the... Hold on. Yeah, everyone thanks Cher. Sure, that's not giving me the information I need. So I believe it's, you have to do... Yeah, hold on. There it is. Yeah. So Cher says, here's the Twitter. Reply to the tweet if you want to go and can go to PAX East. Yeah, make sure you can go. Don't steal these from somebody. We have to be good to everybody. An announcement tomorrow. Yeah, because she's going to verify and do everything else and DM them and yada yada. She's vetting it, so we don't just give it to some kid in Siberia.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
Well, a kid from Siberia can get the passive if he's going to be.
If he's going to come, sure. Yeah, okay. Good point. I'm putting it out as kind of funny here, too.
Greg, I think we can... I don't know.
Oh, wow. Well, hold on. Now take it down and put it on, because if you don't, it's going to... Remember, it pops off. It's popping off. So you do this. You rub it together. We had a good show today. See, yeah. The decal is just it's very thick, and the magnet isn't.
The Earth's gravity wants it to come down with the magnets.
Well, trust me, it'll be down. It'll be down soon
Yeah, we'll
enough.
get it.
Whether we put up a 2 tomorrow or we tear it, it falls down on its own. It'll come down soon enough.
Let's see. Let's talk to some of our people for a little while, Greg.
What up, people?
And get some questions, comments, concerns. So almost 7,500 people are with us right now. We very much appreciate your support. It's already out.
Toasty.
done.
Toasty stickers. FlamingToast.com. We need thicker magnets. We need them now.
The Ghetto Fellow says, what is bigger, Long Island or San Francisco? Long Island is like 150 miles long. San Francisco
So San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco is width. Not even, yeah. One's an island and one's a small city.
A city by the bay.
Let's see. Crash Bandicoot says, PAX East predictions. I don't have any real predictions. I think
PAX East isn't a big announcement show.
No.
I think we're going to go and have a lot of fun with our fans. That's what we're going to do.
I think people have a nice time there. Let's see. Monkey Brains 94 says, this one goes so fast. Have you seen the new 40-minute gameplay footage for Final Fantasy 15? Also, thoughts on Type 0. I have not seen the demo, but I read about the demo. Again, I'm just not. I have no expectations for Final Fantasy 15, so that if it's good, we'll be pleasantly surprised. If it's not, then we're not disappointed. As far as Type 0 is concerned, I have no interest in Type 0. I played it in Japan in September, and I didn't think it was very good. But the game wasn't close to being released yet, so maybe they cleaned it up. I remember the camera being a complete disaster.
Real quick, can we go back to one that's already scrolled past me? It was somebody saying real quick. There it was. I find it almost. There going. Papalo14 says, Greg, what's your take on the Aquaman news is what he means, and plug your Quiver conversation. So, I wasn't here for our show on Friday. They put up that Jason Momoa photo of him as Aquaman. I got to talk about it on a podcast called Quiver, which is all about the Green Arrow show. Arrow, you may know it.
It's a really unfortunate name, by the way.
Quiver?
Yeah.
That's a great name.
I know what it is,
but
Quiver's got all these connotations.
Sure. But I mean, yeah, it's a smart name, and maybe it's too smart is the thing. Anyways, great show. We talk about all sorts of DC stuff, and we talk about Aquaman there. So it's a good chance to plug that podcast and then say that, yeah, I think Aquaman looks great. I'm totally stoked. It's what I talk about in the Quiver podcast, is the fact that I now know what to expect. Man of Steel, the trailer made it look like it was going to be something it wasn't. Then we got the movie, and I've come to terms with what the movie is. I've come to terms with what the DC universe is now, and now I'm ready for Aquaman to be a part of that and tear crap up. Because that's what he does. As I assume this Khal Drago Aquaman looks like.
On Quiver.
Yeah, on the Quiver podcast. There's a great joke in Injustice between Harley Quinn and Arrow, where Arrow takes her to the Arrow Cave, and she says, why don't you call it the Quiver? And he's like, that's a better name.
Phil Fish says, Quiver sounds very 50 Shades. Exactly. That's exactly right. It's like the word... There's just certain words. Moist.
Moist. The Moist podcast.
That's like another word where you can't use this word.
It could be a Duncan Hines cake podcast, but it's probably not.
Yeah, the Moist podcast.
We're just talking about the cakes we made. And how moist they are.
Oh, God, that's funny as hell. Dave and Victor says, you guys should do a con in every state in the United States. Make a map to track your progress. See all your fans everywhere. We'd love to do that, but I don't think that that's practical. I mean, again...
If we did that, the content here would stop.
Exactly.
The content pipeline would stop.
And we also are just not financially equipped for that. You know? So, I mean, the reason, again, we've said it before, the reason that we are going to PAX East at all is because our hotel and airfare has been paid for. So we very much appreciate that.
Cool Rat Daddy says Reginald's quivering member. That's some good little erotica. Show me where you write that. I'll come read.
Yeah, and here we Gomez has some words here that are just I just don't want to
hot,
say.
wet, sweet, moist, tight.
Yeah, like those are words you just can't. They're ruined, and quiver's one of those words.
Cher Armad says quivering, moist, flaccid wiener. Jesus. Portella, come here and quiver.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know if that's something you want to say.
Porty Port, come here.
Let's see. Let's do a couple more questions, then we'll go into sub-only chat.
Okay.
Stancha says, why does the camera keep going blurry? Because it has autofocus, and so when you put something in front of it...
Yeah, when we go up like this, then it focuses on our hand, and we come back like this.
And then you come back
and when I'm doing this action...
San29 says, Jesus Christ, Greg. San29 says, were you at PAX South?
Nope.
No, we weren't, and I'm not so sure there will be another PAX South, but
BS.
but not in San Antonio.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Like I feel like I feel like there was very little excitement about that show.
Yeah, there was. No, I think there was a little excitement coming into it, but coming out of it, everybody who went had a great time. And so, I mean, if it's about community and it's not about game announcements, which PAXs are not about, then I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be there again next year. I think we'll be there too. That's my prediction.
Let's see. Let's do one more question. Wraith2K4 says, how much do we have to donate on Patreon to Kevin lick our tongues?
Oh, Jesus God.
I don't know. We'll consider it.
Again, Kevin can't be photographed. Kevin can't be on camera. So I don't know how he's going to lick your tongue. If you want that to happen at your house, I think you just pay Kevin. Pay his airfare.
Crazy Monkey Slide says, yo, I respect your guys' show all the way from New Hampshire. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Good.
I love New Hampshire, so.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was thinking before when we were having the Bangor versus Bangor argument, and I was like, what was the city where I didn't realize that this was a thing too in its state, and it was Louisville, in Kentucky.
Louisville.
A lot of people say Louisville.
Yeah.
I used to say Louisville.
Yeah.
You say Louisville in Kentucky, and they're gonna knock you the fuck out.
No, they just go.
You know.
And it's also, and then you just get to say to them like, nobody gives a fuck about your city. So this is how the rest of the country sees it.
And it's like you know. So at first I was like Louisville, and I'm like, yeah, kind of Louisville. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. Can't we just call
flavor chicken cat?
Can't we just call it Louisville?
We gotta get that clip.
MPS 927 says Worcester. That's another good one. A lot of people, you know, if you're not from, you know, Worcester, some people would call it or something like that.
Yeah.
Worcester or Concord. It's Concord.
Like the grapes.
Right. Concord.
Yeah. Maybe they should spell them that way. Don't get mad at us because you can't spell your own city.
All right, Greg. Let's go into
Sub only?
Let's go into some only chat.
I'm going to try to do here. You know how it doesn't work sometimes. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, sub only is simple. If you're a sub, you get to jump in with us, talk. This is your private time. If you're not a sub, you can keep watching. Don't worry. Or you can come back at 11 a.m. tomorrow. But this is the chance where we can just talk to them. Go with that. While you look for your good sub questions, Colin, I want to toss out a couple tips we got here.
Okay.
From Greg is a pedo, which would sound like it's about to be an insult. He says, you guys rock. This is... Well, now it's moving because somebody else just tipped. Damn it. This is my poor way of trying to compensate for using ad block. Keep up the good work. Cole underscore MK says, great job, lads. Hopefully you'll come to Blighty someday. I think that's England. Zombie Lazarus, do you guys feel there's enough discourse about video games as serious art form? Great job so far. You make work more fun. I don't think there's enough. We talk about that all the time. People get offended by it and then act like it's for toys and babies.
Hey, as long as we keep arguing about the length of the game and that's the killer of a game, then we cannot take it seriously as an art form, right?
Yeah.
Like we need to worry about the more nuanced aspects of the video game, which sometimes would include the length of the game, but usually not.
Not the key to it all.
Yeah.
And then Steph Meister 2009 said, keep up the great work, guys. Loving all the content so far and look forward to many more years of Kind of Funny. God bless us. Oh, and I'm pitting out of this shirt. Look at that. So I don't wear colors all that often sometimes.
That's fantastic. CrayTray1310 says, I signed up for both Patreons, $1 each. Once I get a stable job that doesn't pay me $7.25 an hour, I'll add more money. I appreciate everything you do. Thank you. And I want to use this opportunity to say that you shouldn't feel obligated to give us anything if you don't want to or don't have the money or it strains you. We appreciate your support, and please do support us. I mean, we obviously love that, and we need that to continue to do this kind of stuff. But
Kevin doesn't eat if you don't support.
Don't put yourself under some financial duress.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this, and that's what we talked about. And we talked about it earlier when we said we brought on our first employee, Kevin. That the whole point of that and how that's possible is because of your support, and that's the same thing with the whole reason we were able to break away from IGN and do our own thing is because of your support. But the idea is that in a year, it's not all on you anymore. You know what I mean? We are in this system of views and YouTube and sponsorships and this and Twitch and all these other forms of payment aren't just putting it all on you guys, where we hope you continue to support us at the level you're supporting us, but that it isn't like, well, if Patreon closed tomorrow, we're done.
Let's see. Johnny Condor says, I'm quivering for House of Cards Season 3 this weekend. You and me both, buddy. Stepladders44 says, Colin, can you please tell me in detail why you do not like soccer or football, the best sport in the world, with a bunch of question marks after.
Yeah.
Soccer's a fine sport, Greg.
Yeah.
We have football in the United States. It's a different sport.
Real football.
That's real football.
Yeah.
And we have so many European listeners.
I know.
Soccer's a fine sport. I do not like the timekeeping. I've explained this many times. The timekeeping in soccer is fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
Nonsense. And everyone's always like, well, in NFL, there's 7 minutes of actual gameplay. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. There's a play clock, and manipulating the clock within the rules is part of the game.
Yeah.
And you see that in the first half of a game. It's more run and gun, and they run the ball a lot more. And towards the end of the game, everything's like much more conflicted because of the time.
Yeah.
In soccer, and again we saw it in the 2010 World Cup with when the United States played Ghana, like where Ghana was winning and they were the ball got out of bounds and they would just walk really slowly to the ball, pick it up, walk really slowly back to the line, throw it in, like the clock never. It's like it's total bullshit. Like I'm sorry, the timekeeping in soccer makes no sense. There's no comparison to any NFL football, or whatever. And that's the reason, because playing the sport itself, like the sport, watching the sport, is a very physical sport, incredible stamina, incredible skill to play the sport. But man, why isn't there a more sensible way to keep time? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
I hear you.
And that, until that's ever fixed, and it will never be fixed, that's going to keep me and preclude me from ever paying attention to soccer.
Ruby Weapon 614 just subscribed. Thank you very much. Happy to have you aboard. Big Tony Style says he'll never watch because they say nil instead of 0 or nothing.
I love this joke. Right in 32 says outside of America they don't know about stopwatches yet. Like once the clock starts, it's like we don't know what is happening. Let's see. Sadistic Pixel says, how many more trophies platinums would you guys each have if Sony allowed the PSP to have trophy support? Pretty significant addition. And they wanted to do trophy support on PSP. They just couldn't make it work because it's so hackable.
Yeah, it was after the fact. They hadn't planned from the beginning, and that kind of screwed them up. But yeah, I think about it all the time. When we were talking on this show about, or I guess on the Kind of Funny Games cast on that PlayStation exclusive episode that went live last week, we were talking about the best PSP games, and it was like, that really felt like, honestly, probably one of the systems I was most versed in the entire library. Where I felt like I had touched just about every game we talked about. You know what I mean? Even for things that were outside of my wheelhouse, right? Like the Final Fantasy Tactics game, and then what's the other one? The other one you liked a lot?
Tactics Ogre.
Yeah, that's the one. Let Us Cling Together. Yeah, all those games.
And some people like ZW88 talking about stoppage time in soccer. I just want to jump back to this real quick. That's also completely arbitrary. Because I played mental games with myself where I'm like, all right, like how much time is being used in this half? And then they're like, 3 minutes. And then you just play for like another 3 minutes. Like, what? The fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
You know? Like it doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't have to have stoppage time if you stopped the goddamn clock.
Right, if there was some, science
if the ball
to it.
goes out of bounds, stop the clock. If someone's writhing in pain with an injury or a fake injury, stop the clock. If someone scores a goal, stop the clock. Not hard.
No.
Not hard.
This is why soccer will never be as popular as American football.
Yeah. Well, here.
Damn it! I just wanted you to leave it just ambiguous.
Well, I don't want you to get massacred, Greg.
I know. I guarantee that's happening to both of us right now. Don't worry about it.
Let's see. Oh, Mr. Bladefist says flopping is another one of those words. Yeah. Fair enough. Let's see. Oh, this is an interesting question. A Sleeping Monkey says, do you think we'll ever be able to play E3 demos from home? We saw a bit of it last year with Battlefield Hardline. We also saw it technically with that Silent Hill demo.
PT.
PT.
I do. I think that's going to be a big trend this year. Is that they do the whole thing of like blah blah blah. This is it, and then you can play this at home right now. Go to the stores and grab them because that was so popular last year. Like so many people loved that idea. I did too. You know what I mean? And then it was funny to have people on our Twitter being like, "Man, I just finished the demo. But what do you think?" And I'm like, "I haven't. I'm not home. I can't play it. I don't know. I don't know yet."
Oppo85 says Patreon survey results? ?
Yeah.
So if you're a Patreon supporter, you already have the results from the podcast that went up on Friday for you.
Yeah.
We did so basically, and that episode will go live for everyone tomorrow at youtube.com/kind of funny. Kind of funny.
Yeah.
So on the Game Over Greggy show. So what we did was we did an episode with just the kind of the metrics part of the Patreon survey. So like how old is everyone? How long have they been listening to us? Where do they come from, all that kind of stuff, and that's in a self-contained episode of Game Over Greg Show, or a clip out of that, and Patreon supporters have already listened to that. If you are a Patreon supporter, you will get a special one-off episode that will only go to Patreons as our exclusive episode.
If you give us $1 or more.
That will go over in more detail the Patreon results in terms of the write-in fields. So like, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? How do you feel about this show? How do you feel about that show? What are we going to change? It's going to be really good.
I think look for that Friday.
It's going to be real good.
We're recording it on Thursday because Tim's out of town the first half of this week.
Let's do 2 more questions.
Two more questions from sub-only chat. Then, of course, we'll be back here tomorrow at 11.
Mega Van Man says, what do you guys think Sucker Punch is working on?
Another... I don't think it's Infamous. I think it's another third-person action game, though. That's as much as I know.
Yeah, I would assume they're I assume they're in pre-production still with whatever they're doing.
Sure, yeah. But that's what they're moving forward on.
Right. This final question, I've been meaning to bring this up. Right in 32 says, "What? When are you guys going to do the Mega Man marathon? I'm looking forward to it."
Oh, yeah.
I kind of want to just bang that out this week. So I wonder if
Okay.
I wonder if let's see. Wednesday might be a good day, the 25th.
Nope.
Why not?
We have a special guest, Ryan Payton, coming in.
Oh, okay.
Of course, Republic, and then he worked at Kojima for a long time. I would say your best day might be Friday, because remember, I might be gone, so you could do Colin and Greg live and then roll.
Yeah,
into
but it's Friday, and I don't want to put it all
It's
night.
Friday.
So maybe next week is the. If we don't do it this week though, then we can't really do it
Next week is GDC. Remember, we're streaming all day at GDC, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. When I mean all day, I mean 11 to 5 each one of those days with tons of developers, tons of unreleased games, tons of indie stuff. And then Thursday, we go to PAX.
Yeah, so I mean, it'll have to actually be probably when we get back.
March 8th, the week of March 8th.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So we'll have more information on that soon.
Okay.
Greg?
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you for joining me. It's good to have you back.
Glad to be back.
Welcome
It was
back.
a good show. We did a really good show today. Thank you all for being a part of it.
Yeah, thank you so much for being out there with us and listening to us and supporting us. Your support is always appreciated. We're really honored and humbled by what you allow us to do for a living for you, to entertain you. Remember, all episodes of this show are archived for 6 days from air date right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, so you can find all that stuff here if you feel like you missed it. And I want to reiterate and double down on something in particular. This show is not meant to be listened to every day if you don't want to. And I feel like some people are approach us and are like, I want to listen to it every day, or I missed an episode and they feel bad or whatever. It's like, the show is meant to be digested when you can digest it. So if you miss an episode, it's not like Podcast Beyond or the newer products we do now where you might miss out on some inside joke or whatever. I just feel like we want you here when you can be here, and I don't want people to be stressing about it when they can't be here with us.
Zyger and Devin will always be in the chat to catch you up on whatever inside joke you missed from the episode before.
So I want to throw that out there because I really do appreciate everyone's support, and the numbers of the show are growing significantly, and we're getting more and more people to watch it.
Tell your friends. Remember, tweet, share it all.
And we're so appreciative of that, but at the same time, like, I just don't want people stressing out about not listening to the show every day, because that is not the point of the show, to be perfectly honest with you. It's the way I feel about the sports shows and the politics shows I listen to where I'm like, oh, something interesting happened. I want to tune in, or I have a moment. I want to tune in.
Big Tony Style says like a radio show.
Yep.
Exactly. We're here every day for you. Don't worry.
But nonetheless, we appreciate your support here on Twitch. We appreciate your support on Patreon, of course, on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter at KindaFunnyVids. You can follow me on Twitter, No Taxation Greg, Game Over Greggy. YouTube.com/KindaFunny, YouTube.com/KindaFunnyGames. You know where to find everything. KindaFunny.com will help you and helps disseminate all that information. We're going to go now. We have some things to do. We're
doing a bunch of Let's Plays.
Yeah, a bunch of Let's Plays this afternoon. But we appreciate you guys very much, and we hope to see you tomorrow and later this week. Thank you for all your support. Until next time, goodbye.
We are the Moonanites, and our culture is advanced beyond all that you can possibly comprehend with 100% of your brain.
Oh, is that so? And what's so advanced about it?
Well, for one thing, the moon has 1/3 less gravity than your Earth. I don't know if you can understand that, but our vertical leap is beyond all measurement.